Rich McCormick was the guy I was talking about earlier.
And so this motherfucker looks like he'd tell a child to get a job.
Would you support getting rid of, school lunch for vulnerable kids and breakfast and Head Start, for example, and getting rid of childhood cancer research? Do you support that? And what do you say to your constituents? I want to follow up on that question too, because I didn't hear an answer from you.
When you talk about school lunches, hey, I worked my way through high school. I don't know about you, but I worked since I was, before I was even 13 years old. I was picking berries in the field before we had child labor laws that precluded that. I was a paper boy. And when I was in high school, I worked my entire way through. You're telling me that kids who stay at home instead of going to work at Burger King and McDonald's during the summer should stay at home and get their free lunch?
Painting a lot of these kids with a broad brush. I would say that's not necessarily a fair assessment of all of the kids. So you would say all the kids in your district who use the free lunch, for example, or breakfast, they're all just sitting at home and not working. Okay, I just want to clarify because that seems like what you were trying to insinuate.
This gives us a chance. This gives us a chance, though, to see where is the money really being spent. Who can actually go and actually produce their own income? Who can actually go out there and do something that makes them have value and work skills for the future? I mean, how many people got their start in fast food restaurants when they were kids versus just giving a blanket rule that gives all kids lunches in high school who are capable of going out and actually getting a job and doing something that makes them have value, thinking about their future instead of thinking about how they're going to sponge out the government when they don't need to.
But a lot of these kids aren't even of like working age. They're young kids, and as you well know, and also some of the
I get that.
Start, they're like 5 and under.
I get that. No, you don't.
Oh man, this is wicked, like evil, wicked shit. Because I remember like in Georgia, I always felt like the free lunch program was cool if you were poor, but if you were like kind of on the fence, it always felt a little bit like
lower middle class. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it always felt a little bit like, am I going to have to pay or am I going to not, like all the time?
Mm-hmm.
It always felt a little bit like, oh, this isn't just a thing that's taken care of.
Yeah.
And I feel like food in a schooling system
should be free.
The money is there. It's so easy to do this. It's like, the book, you don't have to pay for your textbooks. You don't have to pay for you don't have to rent your locker space. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to pay for the janitor to clean shit up. You don't have to pay the teachers. You don't have to pay for the fucking food. You get there, you get breakfast, you get lunch. Because you have to be at school. You have to be there. And you're not a paid worker, so you get lunch. Simple as that.
And
this shouldn't be an argument.
They're leeching off the government.
Insane.
5-year-olds are leeching off the government at that.
They're taking free education. They're learning mathematics without a goddamn job. And they're taking up free calories from the American taxpayer. What the fuck are we talking about? Are the children not our future no more?
My biggest issue with these guys and this back in my day as bullshit. And I had to have this conversation in very explicit detail with my father when I was in undergrad. Because when I was in undergrad, I took out a loan to go to summer school because my scholarship covered everything that I could do during the year. Like I could take as many credits as I want. I had my housing covered. I got a little something back in my pocket, but it didn't cover summer classes at all. So I asked the motherfucker, would he help me co-sign for a loan just for better terms? I was like, I'm a graduate. This reverts to being on me. We end up not doing that. But his logic was, well, why don't you just get like another job, just work 2 jobs? Because I already had a job. He was like, just get another job and just work your way through school and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, I pulled up exactly how much it costs to pay for, because I took 16 credits that summer. I was like, this is how much it costs to go to my school for 16 credits. And keep in mind, where I went to undergrad costs, $60,000 a year, like full cost, right? So doing the math for him, and fortunately he's a reasonable man, in his mind, he was still thinking that this was like the fucking 70s where you could go to school for fucking $700, where like you legitimately could, like with a part-time job, like work your way through school and that kind of shit. So I don't think that these people,
it was sweet.
Yeah, I don't think these people fully understand the realities of being in 2025 and what kids have to go through. Like as a person that worked in high school, as soon as I could work and also had multiple fucking side hustles, I would never want my child to have to work. you know, during the school year.
In order to fucking eat.
In order to fucking live.
Insane.
That shit is fucking insane. Like, work to get some experience, work to, like, you know, build character, all that kind of shit. But having to fucking work is fucking crazy.
And I think it's like, because as he was saying some of the stuff, I was like, I actually agree that working is probably useful for a kid. Like having pocket money that you earned beyond whatever your allowance is. I do think that
it's
that's
character
useful.
building.
I wish I had done more of that shit as a kid, because in truth, it's like, oh, it gives you this freedom, and it helps you become an adult who's free and not beholden to somebody else's like purse strings. Yeah, exactly. Functional. And so I like that idea, but the way that you encourage that and the things that's attached to, because Republicans have this very like punishment centric thing. We got to punish people into behaving correctly instead of rewarding good behavior. Because I'm like, if you want to say, yo, kids should have pocket money and get jobs so that they can pay for luxuries, you know what I'm saying? Pay for better clothes.
They want
better
a car,
fashion, jewelry.
you know,
they
like
want a car. They want a PlayStation, whatever. Cool. Food? Are you out of your fucking mind,
that shit's
dog?
fucking insane, bro.
We're gonna starve the children into working. That's the argument here. And then the other thing is, when we talk about this back in the day bullshit, we've had free lunches for kids for a while. And not to be on my, RFK Jr. soapbox, but we also used to have way better quality food for kids back in the day as well. So this idea that like back in the past, everyone was just pulling themselves by their bootstraps, and the nanny state wasn't, or the welfare state wasn't supporting all of this shit, is like, that is false.
Right.
Like, and it's also crazy coming from y'all supposedly make America great motherfuckers, because there was a time where some certain elements of America were greater than they are now. We've gone downhill in several fucking avenues, this being one, and you're trying to make the shit worse by starving children into employment.
Right.
Which is crazy.
Point? What is the point of that? I mean, hell, like, I'm with y'all. Like, shit, 15, I started working Zaxby's. But
shout out
to the one in motherfucking Chamblee, Georgia. You know what I'm saying? They still on point. You know what I'm saying? They still popping. You know what I'm saying? Right off Peachtree, baby. And then before that, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, summer, like, me and my homeboy, we started like raking leaves just to get some pocket money. Yeah, but it's not like we had to do it to support the family or to support ourselves. We just needed pocket money to do like additional shit that we wanted to do.
Yeah, hood rat shit with your friends at the mall, just because.
Yeah. Man, boy, we was giving out deals too, goddamn. Hey, man, we'll rate this. Shoot, nigga, $7, goddamn. We was
you had to beat the market. You had to beat the market.
There you go.
Yeah, but like me, as a person who was in a situation where like working was a necessity, you know, I was feeding myself, I was paying bills, I was buying my clothes, like it was a necessity to work. But in order for me to be a high achieving student, right, in order to like participate in extracurriculars and all this kind of shit and work 30 hours a week, man, I was fucking exhausted as a teenager.
That part.
So like, I don't think, when I say this back in my day kind of bullshit, I think they forget like the pressures that are on children that didn't exist back in the day. Like if you want to do some shit, like even going to like your best possible state school now, it's so much more competitive. You need so much better of a resume to get into that shit. And then it's only going to get harder for lower income people with the attacks on diversity, equity, and inclusion people. And again, you know, like for people who don't fully understand what that looks like, that helps white people quite a bit as well, especially white women. So when you factor in all of that and you want somebody to have to work to eat, like think about what they're giving up in order to put that extra mind share and will into working. All right. I mean, between my junior and senior year of high school, I missed 60 days of school. Because while I went to fucking school, I was on the bus, and you can look this shit up. I lived at 445 Cleveland Avenue. I went to fucking Benjamin E. Mays High School. The round trip to get to that shit is fucking over 3 hours. So I was going to school on the bus. It was a 3-hour fucking round trip on MARTA. I was working 30 hours a week. I was involved in multiple fucking extracurricular activities. I was a fucking 4.5 GPA student. You know how fucking difficult that shit is? I wouldn't wish that shit on nobody. So for somebody to get on fucking TV and say that kids need to fucking go pick berries and shit to fucking eat when they are not contextualizing how difficult it is to be a fucking older, like adolescent child and try to make it in a much more competitive environment than they had to grow up, man, fuck him. Fuck all of them.
This is the attitude of the government. This is that very attitude is what we are moving towards. And that's why I be like on here, like pissed off, like in my tone, because that is literally the underlining like thought pattern of these motherfuckers. They do not care. They do not give a fuck about you at all. It's just about money. But let's get into some funny shit because we still got a little bit of time.
Yes.
All right.
Let's do some funny shit.
Cleanse our palate of this mayonnaise madness.
Wasabi, goddammit. I need some ginger slices, baby.
Mm-hmm.
It's a red flag.